All right, so we are here in top 4 of Riley's Retro number 9. 9? 8? 9. 9. And we're going to be seeing Zach on our POV here with this TrevGor deck up against Gabriel with TDK. And fun fact, Zach is actually my younger brother, so I'm super excited to see him in this one, playing a very lock kind of... very much just a lock deck, really. It does have the deck and cover Excelgor, so you can keep your opponent's Pokemon paralyzed and poisoned, and then you switch into the item locking Trevenant after that deck and cover. So this is going to be a really tough matchup since TDK does not play any kind of Keldeo to switch out, and they only play Switch as the way to get out of that paralysis, but of course you can't play that if you are item locked. So like this player's name, yeah, Zach here, rooting for Zach there. Nice. Finally got your Ampharos list posted in Discord. What Ampharos list is that, Nick? Win this event with Igor's list, by the way. Well, you gotta play next time, Jacoby. You gotta prove that. Prove that. But we are joined by Cal for this one, who also happened to top 4 Worlds and Seniors and lose to the TrevGor deck. I feel like I've mentioned it about 100 times. Sorry, Cal. But something really significant we just saw there. Zach just discarded both of those Dusknors. Is there a way to get those back? There's a Super Rod in here, right? I think there's a Super Rod.
Yeah, there's Sacred Ash, I think.
Sacred Ash, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, are we keeping you up, Cal?
No.
Yeah, let's get the deck list up here, actually. And one thing to note as well for this Sacred Ass, nice. One thing to note as well for this this match specifically is that this TrevGor deck, since, you know, obviously the Tropical Beaches are very hard to come by online, Zach did have to opt to play 2 copies of Verbank City Gym. So we'll see if I don't want to call it the suboptimal stadium, but it's definitely a suboptimal stadium when you can play Beach. So we'll see if that comes back to hurt Zach at all in this one. Trade with the RCU. Yeah, join...
Maybe the Verbanks are even better in this matchup, though.
I don't think they
More
are,
damage.
though, because TDK also plays Verbank, so...
oh, fair enough.
Yeah, Jacoby, if you join the Discord, and we can definitely try to help you out. Zach's using my account currently, but when he's not playing, or just in general, like, I can definitely help out. I have a lot of these cards, I have a lot of these decks built from older formats, so feel free to join the Discord, and the RCU got your back for sure. Yes, Trev won because Jacoby missed the vote and was the deciding vote to choose our top... Oh, I forgot the prediction. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. TrevGor, TDK. 2 minutes. There we go. Whew. Okay. Now y'all can get your gambling fix. You can get the prediction on that one. So we see the Latios come down for Gabriel. Doesn't really do much in this matchup, though.
It's just on the Mew, but that's it, I think.
Yeah, the Mew, which is definitely a good way to kind of recycle those deck and covers without putting all of your Excelgors back into the deck. Yeah, the Mew, and it's you know, doesn't really have the problem of... Like, typically when you play a low HP 2 prize Pokemon like that, you're like, well, I don't want to give up 2 prizes really easily on this Mew, but because it shuffles itself back into the deck, you just take that liability right out of play, which is great.
Yeah.
So, Cal, if you were to play in this tournament in 2014, what would have... Not in 2014, but in this 2014 tournament, what would your deck of choice have been for this event?
I would have played Eviltal Garb.
Eviltal Garb. Okay, you created a Discord account. Oh, just to join? Thanks, Jacoby. I appreciate that. Glad you're able to join us. Yeah, Eviltal Garb. We did see, I think we saw 2 of them in the tournament. I don't believe any of them ended up making top 4. No, and the one that did bubbled at 5th. So we did not see any Eviltal Garb making this making this top cut here. But wow, and the other match is already completed? Wait, what? Oh, did Zach forget to check in? Hold on. Zach, did someone forget to check in? What is going on? Oh, Gabriel didn't check in. All right. Well, we'll fix that. We'll fix that. Gabriel didn't check in though, so technically Zach already won. But Latias makes this awkward. You have to stream Excelgor. Yeah, exactly. So you do have to. No. Hey, no listening in chat, Gabriel. We're talking about strategies and stuff here. Yeah, one thing that's cool about this Duskull, and I've been roasted relentlessly by my friends who play 2014 with me for having the wrong Duskull in my Empoleon deck because it has that revival attack for one colorless. That's a really cool attack. It puts a Pokemon from your opponent's discard pile onto their bench, which is really good for taking advantage of things like Sinister Hand with Dusknoir, and especially in that Empoleon deck I mentioned for getting more damage with Attack Command. I think that's the attack name.
Yeah, it's Attack Command. Yeah.
Had no idea this format had any kind of support. You love it? Oh yeah, it's basically just me. I'm out here.
Attack Command and Diving Draw, I think.
Yeah, Diving Draw for sure. I couldn't remember if it was Attack Command or not, but yeah, this does have some support. Idolize. Glad you're here. Glad you're enjoying it. We do all kinds of different formats throughout the weeks of my tournament, so glad you're here. And yes, if you want to stick around, you can join in the fun. We play a different format every week usually, so glad you can make it. But we do see an attack here from this Kirim, putting out a... Oh my god, Talia! Thank you! With the 5 gifted subs out to Sutton, Connor, Nick, Z-Man, and Cora. Welcome all into the Riley Cinematic Universe. Welcome. Thank you so much, Talia. And also, hi. Really appreciate that, though. Glad everyone can join into the RCU. Hello, Lila. How are you? More like Talia Goat. I love that, Fletcher. That's fantastic. But yeah, Pokemon. Sorry, YouTube. Pokemon. See the Juniper here. Zach's already down to 12 cards in deck, but because the deck and cover shuffles itself back into the deck, you don't really have to worry too much about decking out. I don't think it ever really happens with this deck if you can get that shuffled back in. So yes, the revival option coming up. That's pretty funny. You see that. But Zach's looking to be pretty well established here with this lock. Nice cow photo. Yeah, we specifically had Vaughn sent me this picture specifically to put on stream. So
that picture's from Worlds. It's I think it's after I won the Win It in game.
So how did that work out then? Because it was the Win It in game, but then it was the asymmetrical cut for you, right? So yeah. You had to play basically a second Win It in, right? It was like a top 8 Win It in game. Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's the first one that they've done. So basically what happened was I started off 0-1-1 and then I had to win 6 in a row, I think. So insane. I started 0-1-1, then I had to win 6 in a row. But then my resistance was pretty bad compared to everybody else's because they probably didn't start 0-1-1.
Yeah.
So that's how that played out.
Well, still, look at all those badges. Yeah. Oh yeah, she's got a lot of badges. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, it's so great though to have that chance though, right? Like the asymmetrical cut definitely, because would you have been 9th? Would you have bubbled at 9th? Yeah, so like it's just nice to be like, obviously it sucks to lose. And there's the heads on catcher. You were talking about this earlier about the always hit heads on the catcher. But yeah, I mean, it's still great to be like, hey, I like was right there, had that chance to be in top 8 of World. So I mean, it's still an incredible run. Like, I mean, I think it's very obvious at this point that you are very clearly an incredible player. So I feel like this whole tournament I've been like, hey, look at this deck that you lost to. And but you know, we appreciate it. We respect it, of course, here. So, But this one definitely looks to be in pretty good control for Zach. As long as we're able to keep stringing together the and this was mentioned previously with the Mew not being able to hit this Latias. So we are going to need to find replacement Excelgors. So it makes it a little bit more interesting. Zach is going to need to find some Excelgor pieces on continuous turns. And this is where something Cal and I were mentioning in the Swiss rounds earlier, that not playing that Tropical Beach, not playing something like a Musharna, I forget what, it might be Boundaries Cross, I forget what set it's from, but it has, oh god, what is the name of the ability? But you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand and the other one back on top, I think?
Yeah.
Or back on the bottom, one of the two, but you get to draw one of those cards, so it's a good way to continuously find the Sweet Dreams? That doesn't sound right. I have to check it out, but... yeah, that's, we were considering that as like a 1/1 line in this deck. I know it was played in the Gothitelle version of this deck in 2013. But, Forewarn, that's the one. Yes, Forewarn.
Yeah.
So Zach will need to find ways to draw through the deck still to find these pieces, though. So is there any, like, what is the best line you think, Cal, from TDK? Is there a way to, I mean, once it gets to this position, it really just comes down to if Zach has it or not. But is there an approach, do you think, that TDK can take maybe earlier in the game to give them the best position to win?
I think they have to rush down the Shelmets and the Trevenants, whatever one your opponent is leaning into and, like, don't have more of, is going to be the right way to go. Killing the Dustnors also help because it just stops them from being able to control the game at all points. Town map is kind of like a double-edged sword because, like, yeah, you get to see your, like, prizes, but then your opponent also gets information to what you don't have in your deck. And then I also think that Latios is not bad in this deck because it puts your opponent in rough situations where if they miss the Excelgor and they can't Mew, that they have to, like, force themselves to Excelgor, but then they can't attack next turn.
Yeah, that's the thing, exactly what's happening right here. That, you know, Zach's going to shuffle this, get this deck and cover in. Although I guess we are taking out the Latias here, so I guess it's kind of a moot point, but we're still going to have to find the Excelgor on the following turn. But you are still up a bunch of prizes. You can grab something like this Colress maybe, and you know, have some additional draw on the next turn, but you're going to need to find those pieces still. And if you whiff, that could be the opening that TDK needs. And you did also, because there's no Dustnor down, Zach did have to Juniper away both Dustnors on the first turn of the game, or second turn of the game, first turn of the game. There's this opening where TDK can now attack, and there's the Lysander to take out the lone Shelmet in play.
That's like the worst fear from Excelgor in that situation, is you get the bossed up or Lysandered up and killed.
Yeah, and you know, this goes back to not having the Dustnor in play, because you could have, as you said, controlled the damage in play so that Latias doesn't get KO'd, and you can keep it perpetually locked by putting all of the damage that's on the Latias onto bench Pokemon and take those out over time. I actually think there was even enough damage in play, on the last turn, where you probably could have actually just won the game. There was like something like 300 damage in play, so you could have just taken out an EX on the bench. You might have been short of the complete game, but...
Probably needs one more attack, I think. But
yeah.
It's really close to getting there. But it's killing the Dustnor here and the Shelmet. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, super unfortunate. And I almost wonder if Zach's wishing he had taken the N off the prizes there, since it did give up 2 prizes in this turn. Level also goes fine off the top, though. Robin should also be disappointed in me. Yeah, Town Map is really good in this deck, though. We saw it earlier in Swiss. A really clever play where Zach was able to use the Sinister Hand from Dustnor to take 2 prizes, and then take specifically what he wanted out of those prizes. I think it was a Phantom and something else in that situation. So it's a really good way to get your pieces, because this deck does play so many different evolution lines. It's a really great way to get those pieces out of the prizes if they're stuck there. And the Sacred Ash is found. Zach not looking to take the Dustnor, though. Yeah, I was like, I think we have to grab that Dustnor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have to grab that. It's smart to identify that they're going to need that this game, because if you currently keep going at the rate you're going, you're just going to be trading prices, and that's not sound good.
Yeah, and this is a very scary situation because, again, we're right back where a
One shot.
Lysander on this Shelmet.
When do they play?
I think it's 2. It's 2 Lysander. I'm not sure how many are down, but it is 2 copies of Lysander for Gabriel. But we will see. This is definitely the critical turn of the game so far. If this Shelmet's able to survive, and then you need to find one on the next turn as well. Who wants to have an EX series format? Is that like a nobody wants it? Who wants it? Or is that like a like I want to have one? Who else wants to? Jacoby. Yeah, this is a very grindy matchup that we see here. It always ends up that way, of course, with oh, like old EX. Well, those would have to do over webcam, and those are coming up in the future. So definitely look out for those, Jacoby. That's going to happen probably in the next few weeks, actually. I'm getting something organized with my friend Jeremiah from the... oh my god, what does he call his thing? I need to cheat real quick. Legends, TCG Legends server. We're trying to coordinate something there. So there will be some webcam 06 format games in the future. I do love Old EX though, the Old EX era. That's like my favorite to play for sure. But yeah, this is the critical point of this game. Does Gabriel have the Lysander? I have to think that would have been slammed at this point if you had that.
Yeah.
But again, Zach's going to need to find another Shelmet on the following turn. I guess you're going to go in with the Mew here. So we're still kind of in the same spot of hoping that you can keep that TrevGor on the bench around. But now this damage from Frostbeer is starting to add up. And another Shelmet off the top is a great find. So we at least have that option. But yeah, the spread damage from Frostbeer is a little bit annoying. And not having that Dustnor access means that Gabriel's going to have a way to attack on the following turn with this Kyurem going down. So not the best situation. Like, Zach's going to take a prize here, but now you're just walking into another Frostbeer, and this is very scary from Zach.
Yeah. It's really critical how quickly he can get the Dustnor back down.
Yeah.
Because without it, he just cannot control the game at the tempo that he wants to set.
Well, and the scary part about this is that one of these Trevenants is going down. The next one's going to have another 30 put on it, and there's no rare candy. So Zach's going to have to take the time to manually set up this stage 2. We're going to have to, evolve into it over turns. So it's not coming down anytime soon.
It's going to take 3 turns at least, which is currently more than how many prizes his opponent has, which is just rough.
The only saving grace here is that you should get one more turn guaranteed after this Frostbeer, so you can at least, paralyze with the Mew or one of the TrevGors on the bench, and this Kyurem will be locked for at least that one turn. And there's a Juniper, so just digging through, trying to find that Lysander for the following turn. Thin out the deck a little bit too, since Zach did take the N off the prizes. And that's what you said about the double-edged sword with Town Map too, is that, Gabriel knows one card that's in Zach's hand guaranteed in that N, because it was taken off the prizes. So it's great that you can obviously handpick your own cards, and I think Zach would definitely prefer that with this deck. You definitely want that in this deck anyway, the ability to just handpick those cards. But definitely a little unfortunate that your opponent knows exactly one of the cards that you've chosen off that prize there. But we'll see what Zach can do this turn. The N coming down, I don't actually even know if you play it here, just because I guess you still want to prevent the Lysander out of item lock, I guess, because then the switch becomes a live card. So I guess you still want to play the N to deny maybe like a switch Lysander play.
Yeah.
We do see the N.
Yeah.
Oh, but we don't find the Duskull.
We did find some double colorless though, at least.
And Zach does not play a Lysander. There are 2 Pokemon Catcher, but I'm pretty sure one of those has been played already. So not sure if Zach has the cards left to take the game. And it would have been great to have this Kirub go down to poison between turns. I guess the only saving grace here is that you should have one more turn after this. Like, this Trevenant's going to go down on the following turn, most likely to that Deoxys. Although Gabriel did not attach an energy for turn last turn, I don't believe. I think that energy was already in play. And I like this. This is a very heads-up play from Zach. You don't need to use the deck and cover. You can, of course, just let it go down to poison and just kind of preserve that deck and cover option for the next turn for yourself. And yeah, Jacoby, I'm considering TCG1 for old format. The only problem is TCG1 just like looks very unappealing. So as far as like streamed content or anything like that, it's very hard for people to follow. It's very hard to cast over. It's just very ugly to look at. So I'm trying to avoid that if I can. But if enough people are interested in it and, able and willing to play that format or, on TCG1, we'll absolutely do that too. Like, I want people to play ultimately, but wow, just the pass from Gabriel. So this is the time that Zach needed. Still need to find that Duskull though. And this is a long game one. This game one has taken up already over 20 minutes here. So still searching for a winner in this one, but we're going to see the deck and cover, bring up this Trevenant. So Zach has some time now, but now you just shuffled back in 2 cards that are not Duskull into the deck. So you gotta hope you draw into that Duskull at some point. Taking a look at the other top 4 match too. I want to see if we have any update on that one. They're still in game 1 as well, between Mike and Connor, our defending champion Connor, over on the other top 4 match. So they're still in game 1 as well. Got some grindy games going on here in top 4 of this event. And Zach top decks the Phantom, I believe, or the Verbank. I'm not sure which one was top decked, but not the best card to grab there. But again, you are going down to 1 prize, and there are energies spread out on the board, not really committed to one attacker or the other. And getting that Phantom down at least means it's actually be able to get item lock on the next turn. I'm not sure how many float stones are left, since there is 1 in play and 1 in the prizes still. This deck, I believe, plays 4 float stones, so I think just double check it. It's the 4 float stone. Yeah. And there's the end. So this could be very disruptive too. Yeah, end to 1 KO. Well, there's the Duskull. Would have liked that, like any of the... Yeah. Is N a lie? But now this is tricky because where this game 1 has taken so long, it's going to be really hard for Zach to outright win in the next few turns. Win a game 2. Ooh, the Mew top deck is not going to do it. Is there any hope here? Helix Force does not outright take a KO on the Excelgor. Oof. See what Gabriel has. The Juniper. So we didn't get the Lysander for a game there, but I think you just need an energy on this Absol, and that will take the KO on this Excelgor. So we are going in the switch. We are going to go into a game 2, and like we said, this is going to be tough for Zach to win outright now that we've taken so much time in game 1. We do have the choice between a Mew or Duskull start. Do you like the choice of the Mew here?
I think Mew's fine. I think it's harder to kill. I don't think that they should be sacrificing the Duskull, given that TDK can kill it pretty easily. So I think Mew's solid. Yeah,
I agree. You don't think of the Mew with 120 HP being tanky, but you know, in this matchup where TDK can put out a lot of pressure on those single prizers specifically with something like you could get a turn 1 Frost Spear with a couple of Deoxys in play. You could even get the Thunderous Raiden Knuckle, for just 1 energy, accelerate some more energy into play, and take out some of those low HP 1 prizers. So yeah, definitely leading the Mew makes a lot of sense, but it's obviously scary to lead your 2 prizer. But I think it makes the most sense given the options, and wow, that's a lot of purple Pokemon. But not much else. The level ball at least will turn into an Excelgor on the following turn, so we should be able to get that established. And you do have double Trevenant at the very least to give yourself some time, but the rest of this isn't looking too hot.
No, it's not. Deoxys can knock out this Mew now as well, I believe, with a an energy and then a Chorus Machine.
Right, because of the energy attached to that Mew. And it is weak to Psychic too, so you don't really need that much to take it out. And that's where I was saying, like, it's kind of scary to start with that Mew. You could just lose 2 prizes off the bat. And I think if this Mew goes down, this is really going to be a tough one for Zach to come back in.
Yeah. I think I would have withheld attaching the energy to the Mew EX because it makes it a lot easier for Deoxys to get there. I think without it, Deoxys needs Muscle Band and Laser to get the 1-shot KO on the Mew.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thinking, though, is that, you know, the DCEs are that much harder to find. Ooh, the computer search, though, that will definitely get us that much closer. I think this TDK list, it only plays 2 Colress machines, so I guess there is the very unlikely situation where they're both prized. We see that they are not. There is at least one. And it's going to go... Yeah, I guess the Absol could take the KO here.
They are hitting 100 right now.
Actually, they're hitting 120 already, aren't they? Because it's 20 base plus the Deoxys. So this is actually going to take the KO with the Absol. We didn't even think about that. Wow. And that is definitely not something Zach wanted to see. Giving up 2 prizes super early. You lose your best avenue here to come back on this too, because this hand is atrocious. You're going to have to hope this catcher hits heads and you can stall out with item lock, but it's a tails. Oof. And there's going to be no attack from Zach here. I think this level ball needs to find another Shelmet, to be honest. I don't think you have the luxury of being able to get an Excelgor.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna even promote definitely the
And this is a little bit of a small nuance, but I like this from Zach. Keeping one of the Trevenants in hand. This is a very, very small nuance of just being able to conserve information from your opponent.
Yeah, I might just scoop here and go to the next game.
Well, but this is game 2 and Zach lost game 1, so there is no next game for Zach, unfortunately. And the Lysander immediately played from Gabriel, take out the only... Oh, God, and there's the DCE top deck after the only Excelgor in play went down. I think this is, again, going back to Tyson saying the writing's on the wall on this one, I have to think.
Yeah, that's rough. It's crazy because if you look at this matchup on paper, it really seems like it's very favored for Trevenant, but like you can just rush down the deck so quickly sometimes with TDK and just not let them do anything. Also, they do have a really bad hand.
Yeah, and it obviously comes back to the deck also having so many different evolution lines, so many different key pieces to the deck that you need to get set up that if you whiff any of the pieces at any point, the game is so much harder to come back in. Quick update though, we did have our returning champion Connor falling in top 4 to Mike. So we will have a new champion from this one. Oh, well, Gabriel could win, I guess, but we will not have a repeat of our defending champion Connor taking it in the next one. So we will see Mike in the finals. Infuriated, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome in. But yeah, unfortunately, the writing is on the wall here for Zach. I guess you could go for some yawn shenanigans and hope that your opponent does not have a switch in that like 9-10 card hand. Might be the only out. Muscle Band, it's not going to do it. Yawn. And nope, wakes up from sleep, and just like that, this one is over. Absol taking all 6 prizes, just like that, just completely mowing down Zach's board. And there it is, Gabriel into another finals with TDK.